Saquon Barkley is a free agent for the first time in his 5-year NFL career. And even though Barkley made it clear back in January he wants to stay a Giant long term, it is looking very likely that the Giants will be hitting the reset button once again and starting from scratch, meaning Saquon will be finding a new home for 2024 and beyond. I believe the best spot for Saquon Barkley to grow in his career long term is the Houston Texans. The Texans shocked everybody this season, going 11-7 and making a divisional round playoff appearance. A lot of this success was thanks to rookie star quarterback CJ Stroud, who had a historic rookie season, as we all know. Now, I know a lot of people that didn't think the Texans were going to win 4 games, but now that CJ Stroud kind of put the Texans on the map and you can see this blueprint, the Texans have everything to grow for the future. They have the franchise cornerstone. They have a young, innovative coach. They have a young receiving core that CJ Stroud elevates. The defense that was so lackluster is improving, being around middle of the pack under DeMeco Ryans, and I expect them to take another jump next year. The one thing the Texans really lack as a group is a consistent run game. And actually, the Texans' run game was laughable this past season. They were ranked 30th in the league in rushing with only 1,600 yards. Devin Singletary was the one who took up most of that workload, rushing for 898 yards, only scoring 4 touchdowns. Now, I like Devin Singletary, but that's not the numbers you want for a team if you're trying to compete. Now, imagine a healthy Saquon Barkley on the Texans. Talk about a nightmare for opposing defenses. Having to defend the arm of CJ Stroud, that's hard enough. But then you throw in the legs of Saquon Barkley. Barkley in the backfield is just a terrifying thought for me as a Panthers fan. It really worries me. It would create so much space for these Houston receivers. It would take a lot of the focus off CJ Stroud, because think about it. If you're a defense right now with Houston in its current state, you probably don't put a ton of thought into the run game. You just don't. I mean, like I just stated, the Texans were ranked 30th in the league in rushing. But if you have Saquon Barkley, who is an all-pro running back, now you've got a problem. This pairing works very, very well, and another reason it does is because the Texans can afford Barkley. They have the 4th most amount of cap space for this offseason, so they can give Saquon Barkley whatever he wants, and I think much of the reason that the Giants wouldn't re-sign Saquon Barkley is because he wants more money. Barkley wants running backs to get a raise. He just does. Because right now, running backs get less money than wide receivers. Saquon Barkley wants a bag, and the Texans could give him that. And what I'm getting ready to say is a stretch and a bit controversial, but I believe the sky's the limit for the Texans. They are going to continue to build, and if Saquon Barkley is a Houston Texan next year, then this team is a dark horse contender. Now, of course, this is all based off of a healthy Saquon Barkley, not the Saquon Barkley we have seen for much of his time in New York, the one where he can't stay on the field. Look, I do get the injury concerns. I do. And I see why the Giants don't want to tag him or give him all this money, because the concern, the risk, it's there. But I believe the risk is worth the reward. I just do. I think that reward is going to be worth whatever risk you take with Saquon Barkley. I have this weird feeling that Barkley is just going to go off with whatever team he signs with. And if he signs with the Texans, that is one scary offense.